Hey everybody, welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, your go-to show for local sports here on the shore. I'm Sports Director Brandon Bosser.
What's up? It's your Chili Sports anchor, Devin J. Martin. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Brandon, basketball, baseball. You're even going to be our news anchor tonight as well.
I am the news anchor, but you know what? You forgot to mention something. It's his 30th birthday tonight, the big 3-0
the
tonight.
Big 30. Oh, wow. I'm officially an adult.
You crossed over.
Oh, yeah.
You're done your 20s. You're in your 30s. Congratulations.
Time to take life super serious.
You're an adult now.
Yeah,
you could run for the Senate if you wanted to.
I know, but not president, though. 35.
That's right.
So I still got another 5. Yep, got another 5 years.
You paid attention in civics class. Very nice. All right, let's go over what we have in store for you tonight. Devin, you sat down with one of the top players in the Bayside Conference, tribe-wise, for After the Whistle, and we'll dive deeper into that referee shortage in both the Bayside Conference and in Delaware.
And Brandon, the USSSA is in town. We talked with a local team about the experience of playing competition from across the region right here in Salisbury.
All right, first though, the regular season in the Maryland Supreme Summer League just wrapping up last night. And we now know the matchups for Monday's quarterfinals.
Yeah, we got some interesting games that's going to happen on Monday, and we're going to go over each one right now. So we're going to start with the top seed, Groove City from Cambridge, and the 8-seeded Aaron's representing Pocomoke. Groove City is the only team that has come away undefeated during group play. Brandon, 12 games, 12 wins, 0 losses, and they actually played Aaron's earlier this week. And if it's anything like it was on Monday, the playoff game next week is going to be really interesting because that game earlier this week was a 2-point win from Groove City. It was only because of clutch plays from Sterling Perkins, who had a couple clutch baskets, including an and one at the end of the game, that helped take away the win from Aaron's. Perkins had 18 points in that game. Now, we talk about
Kobe play in that game?
He did play in that game.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was a big thing that they were fully healthy, and Pocomoke or Aaron's, they were really holding their own, but they just couldn't have enough firepower. Michael Ames, he's been shooting the lights out all summer. He had 3 threes in this game, but his running mate, Jameer Roberts, he usually hits some threes too, but he got held to 0 threes in the game and only 9 points.
Yeah, that's the thing about Pocomoke. Young team, they're trying to get more confidence and be more consistent. 2 very important things for Pocomoke. Groove City has looked just as dominant as they did last year, even though they don't have LaShawn Moody this year. You got Kobe Enels, you got Anthony Hughes. They went to the state championship. We all know about that. But Aaron's, I'm surprised they only won 5 games in the summer league this year. 5-7 record for Aaron's. It just felt like they were a better squad than that record. But maybe it's because we saw them in a lot of their games that they played.
Yeah, they were in a lot of close games. I think the only problem for them is they don't have the size. They don't have a size that a lot of the other teams.
They've got Bonneville down low, and they wished if he was just a couple inches taller, he would be a dominant force in the Bayside. But you know what? He is an undersized guy down low, but he can grab boards.
He can grab boards, but they need a little bit more height, and that's where it's kind of cost them at the end of games because they can't get the necessary stops on the defensive end at the rim because it's just they're vertically challenged sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's
so I'll take Groove City.
Yeah, I would take them too. It's going to be a close game though.
All right, next up, Bull on the Beach, Decatur. They are your number 2 seed taking on JBC Construction from Y-High, the number 7 seed. Now, Decatur won this matchup in early July by 20 points. In that game, Decatur had all of their big guns on the court. David Chandler, Tribe Wise, Akari Baker, along with their role players like Jonathan Purnell and Solomon David. Well, Y-High, 6-6 record. Tayshawn Swan, Makai Jeffress showed up a lot this summer, but I just can't see Decatur losing this game.
Yeah, the only way I can see Decatur losing this game is if their big guns don't show up.
Right.
I just think that they just have too much firepower. The Bull is not going to be stopped. I mean, look, when you see David Chandler doing stuff like that, dunking on people, Y-High, they don't have JBC Construction. They just don't have the players or the talent level right now to be able to compete at the highest level.
They don't have the depth to match Decatur either,
and they don't have the size to match them either. So when it comes to depth, in my opinion, talent level and also just height and size, they're definitely going to be massive underdogs. But I do expect them to be very gritty and putting up a tough fight. Obviously, Butch Waller, one of the best coaches. I mean,
he'll be watching from the sidelines, that's for sure. He's not coaching in the summer league.
But he's going to be giving a lot of good advice to some of his assistant coaches who's leading the way for JBC, and I think they're going to be able to come up with a good defensive game plan, but it's going to be hard for them to get the win.
All right, so next up, we've got the number 3-seeded Hilltoppers from Snow Hill and the number 6-seeded Downtown Sneaks from Crisfield. More like the Somerset County Downtown Sneaks when you add in Elijah Thomas from Washington. So, Devin, what do you think about this matchup?
So this is the thing. Snow Hill obviously is one of the teams that was really one of the best surprises on the court last year, and they were the team that I was looking into in terms of the Hilltoppers to be one of the 2 best squads in the Summer League. Now, obviously, they were the 3 seed, but they were kind of a little underwhelming for me only because they played against Delmar last week, and they lost that game.
Right.
And so that's a game where, I mean, Delmar, they couldn't even make the playoffs. They were, I believe, 4-7, 5-7. On the year, missing out on the seeding, or maybe 4-8 actually. So when you lose it against a team like that, you're supposed to be able to dominate them. They couldn't dominate that matchup. I do think they're going to be able to beat Crisfield, but that's going to be a really, really tough matchup for them. Crisfield is actually very underrated.
Yeah.
But once they get to the next round, if they do make it to the next round, which I think they will, they're going to have a really tough challenge.
Well, we're focused on the team in front of them, and you know what? Keandre Nixon, the heart and soul of that team. But the thing about Snow Hill is going to be that they have to replace those big guns like Jaden Hudson, DeZavion Dixon, a few other guys from last year. And I think they've done a pretty good job with Demo Biggins and Jaden Bolware and DeMar Brunson in doing that. I think that we're going to see a very close game. But Snow Hill, I think, has been a really good team this summer. They've actually outperformed my expectations. Finally, we have Laurel, the 4-seed, playing the 2-time champions C&P Enterprise from Bennett. The interesting thing about Bennett, we've heard from a reliable source that Jace Hudson, no longer there, is transferred out, and he is not playing in the Summer League either. So right now it looks like it's Zakai Smullen's team leading the charge is Zakai, along with a roster that needs more cohesion is what we've seen on the court so far, but they're also playing a Laurel team that has come out with a lot of energy and a lot of fight in every game. They're locked in on defense, and they also have quite a few outstanding athletes like Brock Hills, Brian Ellie, and Khalid Burton as well.
Yeah, so they actually played each other earlier this week as well, and Laurel beat them by 20. So this is going to be a great rematch. They actually played yesterday, and this is going to be a great rematch for JBC Construction, or CMP Enterprise, excuse me, because they need to get their get back. And as you mentioned, it's up to Zakai Smullen to lead that team. He's been playing varsity now. This is going into his 4th year, but Laurel is a very well-coached team. Great with fundamentals. I hear their head coach yelling on the sideline every single game. He's like,
Joe is fantastic.
Yeah, consistency, rebound and effort.
He's district teacher of the year, by the way.
Yeah, so
Mr. Joe Winkie, by the way.
He does a great job.
He's a fantastic coach, fantastic teacher, and I think that Laurel takes this one. All right, stay updated while we're at these games in real time. Follow WMDT Sports on Facebook and X right now. And now it's time for this week's After the Whistle. Devin, you sat down with one of the top athletes in the entire Bayside Conference this week.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about his team a little bit. You're going to see him on the court Monday representing Bull on the Beach, and we're definitely going to see him make plays on the football field down in Berlin in the fall as the Seahawks look to defend their state crown. Here's our story with Decatur senior Tribe Wise.
Meet Decatur's Tribe Wise. He's been a corner piece for the Seahawks on the football field and on the basketball court for years. And while he's heading into his senior season, he's already had his college journey mapped out. Back in June, he announced he's committed to the Georgetown Hoyas.
When I went to Georgetown, I feel like the coaches really showed a lot of love and a lot of understanding, and I feel like I can make an impact right out of the gates.
Tribe has been a part of greatness. He's made multiple deep playoff runs on the court for the Seahawks, plus he's been a matchup nightmare on the football field. He made the play of the night in the 2A state title game, helping Decatur win their first ever football state championship. He says his journey to success started the year before in the playoffs, his sophomore season.
My sophomore year, I actually got hurt when we played Potomac, and we lost the next game, Milford Mill. So that was definitely a point in my career where I realized, like, I want to take that next step and being the guy.
And he's been that guy for the Seahawks, whether it's looking like the Bayside version of Calvin Johnson, catching dimes on the football field, or if he's getting and ones and dunks on the basketball court. His love of both sports is what drives him to be one of the best dual athletes of his generation.
Football, I love the physicality of it. You could just go, you just out there running, catching. It's straightforward. With basketball, it's a little bit more complex. You know, I feel like football is more of like a team sport. Everybody hands on deck. I just love the game so much that it's brought a lot of joy into my life.
Yeah, Tribe is the best vertical threat I've ever seen in the Bayside. I mean, he's the only one that can just go upstairs when they
Jace
throw the ball.
Freeman can also do that, but you know what? Tribe definitely is right up there.
And, you know, to put in perspective how good he's been, obviously getting a Division I offers from Georgetown, he's had to share the football field on the offensive side with Bryson Coleman, who's a Division I player, Kareem Bolden, David Chandler, who's eventually going to go D1 as well. So now he gets to be wide receiver number 1. So you can expect a lot more plays from him. The ball in his hand is a lot more this season. So we're really going to see what he's made of.
All right, fantastic story there, Devin. That'll do it for the A block. We're calling our first timeout, but when we return, fall sports are right on the horizon. Bayside games are already being moved. There's a referee shortage, and we're talking about it coming up next on DSI.
I'm Anthony Hughes from Cambridge, South Dorchester, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.